Hello, everybody, and welcome to Ask the CEO with Avrohom. Today, I'd like to introduce a very special guest. He's the CEO of Jitsuin, a company that brings you the transparency, collaboration, and automation you need to move fast and fix things while boosting digital transformation. As part of this discussion, we will share how their partnership with Microsoft, their use of Azure, and the Azure Marketplace have empowered them to scale and grow their business. It is my pleasure to welcome Krishna Anne. Welcome, Krishna.
Thank you, Avrohom. Thank you for having me here.
Yeah, it's a pleasure having you. So, Krishna, IoT is a major component of many businesses' digital transformation strategy, and the number of deployments have gone up exponentially year over year, with a projected number of 20.4 billion devices installed by the end of this year. One of the things that worry me as someone who's very active in the cybersecurity community is that when thinking about a manufacturing plant where there might be hundreds of thousands of disparate connected devices on your network, you really need to have a solid operational plan in place to keep these devices patched and updated. I mean, we can't even patch our Windows servers. You know, we're talking about hundreds of thousands of connected devices. How can manufacturing plants and operators of essential services such as utilities, transportation, smart infrastructure, and healthcare secure themselves when embarking upon their digital transformation journey?
All right, Avrohom, you hit the nail on the head. This is a problem. And this is a problem that has been going on for a while. So coming from this industry, I've been doing this for almost 30 years, but specifically around IoT for the past 5 years. The scope of the problem is humongous. And data, as they say, is the new oil. If that is the case, oil needs refinement. So the problem that we have today is the IT and the OT systems coming all together with IIoT, they've been managed differently in the past. Every vertical of things have their own way of doing and managing, patching, and lifecycle management. Now, bringing it all together and putting it under a common infrastructure is a problem that we need to handle and manage. So there was one study that says the digital transformation projects that got kickstarted, 2/3 of them go by the wayside just because there's no trust in the data or security is lacking. So when we started looking at this problem, and the whole world in general, is how do you create trust on the data coming back from the devices? Now, having said that, there's another study that said 80% of the companies, almost I would say 75 to 80%, do not do audit on the supply chain of their vendors. So the trust in devices don't exist, leading to the lack of trust in the data coming out of it. And this goes on and on into the whole issue of what do we do and how do we do it. So one of the ways to kind of solve this problem is to have a collaborative platform where the operators and the supply chain partners all could collaborate on a transparent, automated system to kind of see if the devices are up to date, patched, and what's going on with the device on a day-to-day basis. It doesn't have to be day-to-day basis, but what's happening on a regular basis, right? So, and that's a problem that could be solved with the technology that we have today, and it's happening right now.
Wow, this sounds really exciting. You know, just thinking about, like I said earlier, about 100,000, not 100, hundreds of thousands of devices being able to collaborate on a single platform. So let's talk about it. Jitsuin recently launched a new offering on the Microsoft Azure Marketplace called Archivist Security Twin Platform. Tell us about it and how it addresses these challenges we just discussed.
Yeah, so Jitsuin was founded by industry veterans who are, like I said, staring at the problem for a while. The 3 co-founders come from the space of security, trusted execution environments, cryptography, blockchain, and such.
All the important skills that you need.
Absolutely, yeah. And hence that's how we got started on this, right? We looked at the problem. We were talking to customers when in our previous companies, as well as when the company is formed. One thing that came to the forefront is actually there's a change in the business models that are happening too. When we started the company 2 years ago, product as a service was starting to gain traction. So we were talking to this equipment vendor, who's a big medical equipment company out of Europe. They do not want to sell a CapEx model anymore. They're moving forward. They want to have a share in the OpEx. However, there's a problem about if you install this MRI machine somewhere, is the data coming back from the machine, can we trust it? Or somebody managed to change the settings on it, and so the share of the revenue could be completely off. That's one end, right? Then the other end, of the operators themselves, as we talked to them, they said, another study that I kind of read is in a typical deployment, especially with the big companies, there are 500 different kinds of devices could potentially coming from 200 different vendors. So there's no way, there's no common platform to have everybody collaborate and patch management or to be able to say that the device is secure. So what we launched is a collaborative platform called the Archivist to be able to, for the vendors and the operators to collaborate and move fast and fix things. So we call this security twin in its simplest form, removing all the other supply chain partners. If you just think about on the operator front, it gives you a snapshot of all their devices and the status of their devices. So we call that a security twin because it gives you at any given point a snapshot of the security features and the operational parameters that are about the device itself. Extending it over time period. So when you bring in the supply chain partners, you could move fast and fix things. I keep going back to this move fast and fix things is because there's an industry regulation coming around. At the same time, it came around GDPR in Europe called NIST, which each European Union nation has to comply with. It's about operators of essential services had to comply within 72 hours. They need to report if there was a breach of a device to the local cybersecurity center, because bad actors that are happening, the nation state actors, all this coming together and being able to audit the device, being able to audit the security functionality, being able to patch it. That's what we're trying to bring together on the security twin platform.
Wow, this is a really exciting endeavor. How would a manufacturing facility use your solution with Azure?
So today, you could go to a Microsoft Marketplace and search for Jitsuin or Archivist, Archivist, and get an instance. If you're already a Microsoft customer using your Active Directory, I could fire up an instance, connect to it, and if you're a Microsoft customer using IoT Hub or IoT Central, it's pretty straightforward. We hook onto the service bus and should be able to track all the devices that IoT Hub and IoT Central manages and be able to start getting the historical data in terms of the security features that people are looking for. But if you're not an IoT Hub or a Central user, and if you happen to use digital twins or such, we do provide REST APIs to hook into the device or any other enterprise software of choice.
Great. And how could customers find out more about the Archivist Security Twin Platform and procure it through the Azure Marketplace?
Here's a short link that it's going to be on the screen as well. It's https://bit.ly/M1, and lowercase e.
Great. And I'll also post that to the show notes so people can just click on that and pull it right up. Krishna, how has partnering with Microsoft helped Jitsuin scale and grow your business?
Yeah, I cannot overemphasize what Microsoft did for us as a startup, right? Well, when we came together as a team, we had the idea of what we would like to do and what we would like to build, and industry background in terms of the product marketing expertise and building the product. But when it came to Microsoft, right, because they had the background to kind of with the Azure Marketplace as well as the scalable solution with the cloud computing, we started off building on Azure and given the relationship with the industrial customer base that we're targeting, they could put us in touch with the customer base in terms of marketing, work with us hand in hand to get our product to co-sell ready. And so we are listed on Marketplace pretty nicely, didn't have much in terms of hiccups. And on the follow-on marketing to be able to profile us, put us in front of customers and to have those discussions going. So Microsoft has been tremendously helpful in helping us launch the product and the company.
Great. And how could people find out more about Microsoft partnership opportunities for manufacturing partners?
So you could send email to MFGMarketplace@Microsoft.com and get started with the Microsoft manufacturing group to get the discussion going and get you started on the manufacturing side of things.
Great. And how do people connect with you?
So we could be reached at, go to our website, it's jitsuin.com, or send us email at info@jitsuin.com. Alternatively, you could follow us on LinkedIn. You could go to your LinkedIn homepage, type Jitsuin and follow us on LinkedIn or Twitter. Alternatively, you can also connect with me on LinkedIn, Krishna Anne, A-N-N-E, as a last name.
Great. And I'll post that all to the show notes as well.
Thank you.
Krishna, do you have any parting words of wisdom that you'd like to share with the audience?
Yes, absolutely. So we are well underway with the digital transformation, and with the COVID crisis, it seems to be accelerating. Companies and industries are looking at how fast we automate things, which is actually a great place to be right now. So if you look at 10 years from now, assuming that the trust in the devices and the trust in data is built and it's taken for granted, there's a whole set of new use cases that the smart people and the new generation entrepreneurs are going to put out. It's actually based on data from different sources, from different industries and different verticals being exchanged, and new use cases being built on top of it. So I'm looking forward to this futuristic world, and hopefully Jitsuin is going to be part of this futuristic world where data is traded, where data from a patient center in a hospital is pushed out for bidding to 3D manufacturers of prosthetics or what have you, and do a just-in-time build as well as just-in-time bidding, right? So there's a whole new world that's going to be opening up for us as we embark and get to this trust in data and trust in devices.
Very exciting new world.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Looking forward to it.
Krishna, thank you so much for sharing your time and your wisdom. I really enjoyed having you on the show.
Thank you very much, Aaron.